think the reason I put Emil there is just because Reach was a pretty good game, right? I don't think the Halo community quite knew how well they were eating. Let's talk about the winter update. Well, update. This winter update is Halo Infinite's We Fixed the Game update. This is a make or break moment for Halo. What has 343 got? It's been a year since the release of the game, and not a lot has been done with the game. It's mostly the exact same thing from launch, and they got a lot, which is actually kind of exciting. The only real downsides of the winter update is there wasn't a lot to talk about when it comes to the missing content for the game. Your firefights, your infections, your griff balls. Yeah, all those modes are still MIA, and there's no real update on when or if they're ever going to arrive to the game. There also wasn't a lot of talk about the PC experience, which is still relatively poor, which sucks because I really enjoy gaming on PC. Do you smell that? That smells like a Segway. Building your own PC can sometimes be overwhelming, and the convenience of just having one ready to go can come in handy, especially if you're transitioning from console to PC. That's why Apex Gaming PCs and I partnered up for a custom line of LateNightGaming themed PCs. The custom line comes in 3 tiers: Marine, ODST, and Spartan. ODST and Spartan are more high-end, and even got some additional upgrades to their GPUs and CPUs for those more interested in a premium experience if you have some cash to throw at a custom PC. But for those just looking for a good time and something easy access, the Marine tier is less costly and comes with the specs to easily run games like Halo MCC and handle modding. Best part is, PCs can be upgraded, so you can start yourself with a Marine tier PC and then in a year order a new part or two and upgrade it. If you use the code LATENIGHT in the link down below, you can get a special discount on the order, which helps the channel and saves you money. A huge thank you to Apex Gaming PC for sponsoring the video, and let's get to the topic. Let's talk about the things that are going to be coming in this huge winter update, this We Fixed the Game update. Network co-op is being added to the game almost a year after release, alongside the ability to replay levels. These features are, frankly, a year late, but the fact that they're going to be in the game is good. It's going to make content creation a lot easier, and I think it's going to give people an excuse to replay certain chunks of the game, and hey, maybe even discover things about the campaign that they didn't really notice before. I think a year after release, people's opinions on the campaign have started to settle, and maybe it's because of boredom or whatever, but at least the vocal Halo community has felt kind of sour about the campaign experience. I still stand that the campaign was a net positive for Halo. Hopefully with the ability to replay missions, people will be able to cut out some of the boring open world fluff and get to some of the story moments or even specific mission moments that they appreciate. So it's good. It's good. These are good inclusions. They're a year late, but it's good. Now, the big one. Forge is going to be releasing to the game. And not just Forge, by the way. This took me by surprise. FileShare is coming to the game. They understood the importance of these systems existing together. So Forge and FileShare will be releasing at the same time, which is just... this is good. This is really good. People are going to be able to create their own Forge maps, and they're going to be able to share them amongst their friends and the greater Halo community. Now all that's missing from the game is, well, a lobby system. That and, a stable custom games experience. Yeah, custom games are still not in a good place. Oh, speaking of over-delivering, by the way, not only are they going to add maybe 1, 2, or 3 Forge canvases for us to use, there's going to be 6 of them, and all of them have different biomes and themes. You got your water theme, you got a desert theme, you've even got like a marsh swamp theme. It's just, like, it's good stuff. As somebody who really liked Halo 5's Forge mode, this was just, like, great news to me. I'm very excited about it. And on top of that, these canvases are gigantic. They're significantly bigger than the ones available in Halo 5. And Halo 5's canvases were already pretty big. Something that is a bit disappointing is there is no Forge world, like a Forge world remastered kind of thing. These are relatively blank canvases. Now granted, Forge in Halo Infinite is quite different from Forge in, well, Halo Reach, but I do think having a canvas with pre-designated landscapes, little locations, and stories can actually help people get familiar with Forge's toolset early. I think if you're like a new person just getting into Forge and you look at this blank, empty slate, you get kind of overwhelmed. Where with Forge World, you have a lot of terrain to work with that Bungie created for you to kind of kickstart your adventure on. So I hope that that's something the Forge team is considering. 343 is also going to give the community a free battle pass that isn't FOMO, it's not temporary, it's not going away, it's just going to be there for free. Now, I think that this free battle pass requires a bit of context. The head of business, your people who designed the game's progression system, well, actually, I should say lack of progression system, and just the whole gameplay loop, the whole reason for existing, you know, the rotating store, the overpriced cosmetics and stuff. A lot of those people aren't at 343 anymore. And this free battle pass comes off, to me at least, as kind of a gesture of good faith from some of the new people now that are spearheading Halo Infinite's live service plans. And hopefully a commitment that, well, unlike the previous guys, these guys plan to do right by the community, and this is a start. 2 new maps are going to be added to the game that are done by 343, and something interesting is, these are not actually developer-made maps. They're made in Forge mode, and I think it says something about the quality of Halo Infinite's Forge mode that people couldn't tell prior to release. They thought these were developer-made maps. And then beyond just that, the Forge Council has been making some pretty cool maps as well, like this one, which looks kind of like a white rock with a temple carved out of it. It almost reminds me of Smash Bros. It's good stuff, and it's a good example of some of the things that the new Forge mode can do. Oh, before I continue, something about one of these new maps being added to the game is it's going to have a teleporter. What makes a really good Halo map pool, in my opinion, is maps that provide unique, creative, gimmicky fantasies to set them apart from other maps in between your more competitive maps like the Pit. Of course, we have to talk about the much memed XP beta. Using the challenge system, 343 is going to be introducing a semi-XP system that's going to inform the development of their progression system that they're working on for the game. You're going to get XP for completing a game, and then more XP based on accomplishments in the game, like assists, if you won or lost, or how many people you killed, or something like that. This XP that you're going to earn is only going to feed into battle passes, but, you know, it's going to inform the progression system that they're designing. I'm not sure why we have to almost relearn how to make a progression system with XP and stuff like that. I feel like, at least as a Halo developer, they would have 20 years worth of research and feedback from all across the different Halo games to work off of. So the XP beta, it is funny sounding when you say it out loud. It's kind of like progression systems in Halo have become like this lost art, you know? But hopefully Halo Infinite is the final black eye that causes 343 to remember to include them going forward. And then finally, 343 is actually going to be adding an asymmetrical game type, which is Covert 1 Flag. Covert 1 Flag is going to have one team spawning with more stealthy equipment like energy swords, as well as a pulse carbine, I believe, and they're going to be cloaked. And then you've got more aggressive defending teams, which are going to kind of fight off these aggressors trying to capture the flag. But what I'm a bit more excited about with the prospects of Covert 1 Flag is we're going to have an asymmetrical game type in Halo Infinite. Imagine the kinds of custom games you could build off of asymmetrical rules, or even Infection, which 343, it's ridiculous that we're gonna have to make Infection ourselves. Come on, it's been a year, where is Infection? But yeah, that's, you know, Covert 1 Flag, it's coming, it's probably gonna be cool. And well, that just about covers it. The winter update, it's going to be 343's big make or break it moment, I think, for Halo Infinite with a lot of people. The last year has been very confusing. I'm not quite sure why the winter update took a full year, because when you look at other game studios that had rough launches, 343 is much further behind the curve than a lot of these studios. Even Battlefield 2042, as insane as this sounds, is further along than Halo Infinite is. The last year or so, and the kind of like shocking inability by 343 to just update their game, create content, deliver content in a timely manner, and make and keep promises has sort of left me in this jaded position. I feel kind of like that elite in Halo 2 Anniversary's cutscene.
I do not trust you.
There's a lot that Halo Infinite still needs to work on. And in fact, I think 5 months after the release of Halo Infinite, I made a list of things that Halo Infinite needed to accomplish for me to consider it content complete. And as time keeps going on, I'm starting to realize that a lot of these are probably not very realistic and should probably be reserved as things to do next time for the next Halo game. But we could use this list, I guess, as a good way to chart the progress of Halo Infinite being patched into something that's relatively content complete. So right here is the list. It's on the screen right here. If the winter update just causes a little bit of hope within me, it's something that the game needed, and now the game has a bit of life in it, then what we're going to do is we're going to follow Halo Infinite's progression through its live service, whatever, and we're going to add a little check mark to each one of these features as they're added back to Halo Infinite. And maybe we'll get to the point where most of the things on this list here have a little check mark on them. So if somebody at 343 is watching this list here, I'm watching, and I hope the community is too. And I hope 343 is also considering all of the things on this list. Part of the reason I put that little guy right there is he was in a game called Halo Reach, and it was still, to this day, the most content-rich Halo release in the series. I don't think this content bar is impossible to achieve. And I think with better planning, better organization during the development process, we could have another Halo game to rival or even surpass Halo Reach in terms of community features, customization, game modes and ways to play, and of course, well, polish. So 343, I'm gonna be watching, and I am cautiously, very cautiously optimistic about the winter update. But how do you guys feel? I'm a Halo shill, so of course I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Are you more along the lines of that Halo 2 Elite? Or are you feeling kind of like, you know, this might be able to? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys on the next video. That's it. That's how I'm ending the video.